I think I expected Donald Trump would be Donald Trump with the exaggerations, the distortions, the rambling, even the lies. He exceeded my expectations for all of those, including the line for which he'll be remembered, that immigrants are eating all of our cats. Kamala Harris, Democrats hoped that she would be strong, forthright. She would not be bullied by Trump. She would get out her talking points. She exceeded those expectations. I think, especially on issues like reproductive rights and women's rights, I think she made the Democratic case against Trump, who struggled with this. I think she was very effective in making the case about the future of the American system and democracy. And she had those key lines, which is a president should be there for you, not for himself. And we need to stop looking at the past. We need to move forward.
Well, the debate seemed to start off quite cordially with a handshake too, initiated by Kamala Harris. What did you make of the body language and also the calm that didn't seem to last for that much longer, especially when Kamala Harris took a dig at the attendance numbers at Donald Trump's rallies?
Again, Kamala Harris, I think because she's always nervous at the start, if you notice, of interviews and of big speeches. And she was a bit nervous to start off with. But then, and this I think is part of the achievement of the Harris team, they obviously had worked on her in terms of looking very, very, again, confident, but not trying to bully Trump, always looking at him, but then looking back at the audience, the moderators as well. And she did that, I think, very, very effectively. Trump, on the other hand, was Trump. His lips were pursed. He quite often had the scowl on his face. And you're absolutely right that the Harris team had prepared for the lines that would trigger him. And when they triggered him about the size of his rallies, when they triggered him about losing the 2020 election, he just went off into crazy uncle mode. And that, I think, is what, because most people won't have watched the entire 90 minutes of the debate, you watch those clips, those 6 or 7 clips, and I think it's who do you want to be president? This former prosecutor who now appears ready for the job, or this guy who was there 4 years ago who is really, really angry all of the time and doesn't actually have a complete connection with reality at some points.
What was the reaction from moderators and Kamala Harris when Donald Trump made that statement, that line that you said when he was talking about migrants from Haiti living in Springfield, Ohio, who are eating people's cats and dogs? What was the reaction?
Well, first, I think I have to say that the moderators were very professional throughout and were probably the best moderators I've seen in the social media era of debates. They did not allow Trump to walk all over them. They fact checked Trump, which is something that, again, upset him even further. They also were able to maintain, the line between the candidates to avoid each of them bullying each other. When Trump issued that line about the immigrants, eating cats, the moderators did their job. They read a statement out from the city manager of Springfield, Ohio, that said, I can assure you that there has been no incident of a household pet being eaten by an immigrant. And Donald Trump said, but I saw it on TV. A person said it on TV, and the moderators repeated that very professionally, putting that lie in its place and leaving us with a soundbite for today.
Were there any moments of weakness for Kamala Harris during the debate?
I think the opening question, which was about the economy, rather than answering the question, do Americans feel better off than they are 4 years ago, which is a standard question in debates, she swung very quickly to her talking points about what she would do for an opportunity economy, what she would do for empowering people. Now, that's fair enough, but she didn't directly answer that question. And I think that is going to be, if Donald Trump could actually be coherent, would actually be the best line to take for the next almost 2 months, which is to whip up the idea of fear and anxiety around inflation, even though it has come down significantly from 9% to 3%. So I do think there's some work to do there for Harris, but I think she was very effective on immigration by, again, stating the fact that she had reached a deal, or the Biden administration had reached a deal with the Republicans, and Trump undermined it, and then knocking back, again, those scare lines that we've heard about Donald Trump's, which is millions of them are invading America. In other words, she's still got more to do. Almost 30% of Americans want to know more about her, but I think she's got the momentum now.
Do you think she did enough to convince those voters who are still undecided in those swing states?
I think she's made a start. I mean, let's be very clear here. This is a toss-up race. It's neck and neck in those 7 states that will decide the election. And anyone who's willing to make a bet on how this turns out, I'm willing to take their money at this point. But what I would say is this, is that you have 2 key groups of voters you have to deal with. The first is those people who would vote for you, you've got to motivate them to turn out. And I think Harris helped do that last night. By the way, I think Taylor Swift did as well. And secondly, you have got to get those undecided votes. And there are a lot of them out there. A lot of Americans are not Republicans or Democrats. I think Harris, again, is on her way with 3 groups of voters who are undecided: suburban voters, youth voters, and in an election where reproductive rights may be the key issue, with women voters.
You mentioned Taylor Swift. How much of an impact will her endorsement make on this election, especially with young voters?
Well, in your package you played, I mean, I heard the standard Trumpist line, oh, these celebrities, they don't make any effect and whatever. Look, this isn't just a celebrity. This is Taylor Swift, who is not just, one of the musicians of our generation. She's a very political musician. She 4 years ago made a statement to young people: go out and vote. This is the future of your country. And at the margins, she helped increase voter turnout. Now, her endorsement doesn't decide this election, but when it comes to that 18 to 35 group, who historically have had a low participation rate in American elections, if she helps elevates that, it does give Kamala Harris another small boost on a night where she, well, did very, very well.
And a boost that the Democrats really would like to see. Scott Lucas, always great to get your views. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.